Hi, Misha here, and we know a couple of you out there like AK content, and we have one that just came in. It's been hard to do videos on this or any Arsenals because about the time they come in, they sell out. And by that I mean these came in yesterday and now all of them are already sold and will be shipping tonight. But we grabbed a few minutes here so we can do a table talk about the Bulgarian imported Arsenal SLR-107R, part number SLR-107-11. This is Arsenal's basic model in 762 by 39, and these are now modern current 2020 dates, which is the 60 you see in the serial number. And we'll do a brief comparison of features and whatnot with another very famous relatively economy gun, the Romanian Cugir WASR-10. And while this isn't a current 2019 or 2020 import, it is 2016, meaning it was brought over after kind of the upgrade and QC tightening that Century did back around 2014, 2015. And these are very similar guns when you spec them out. As I said, both are imports. Both have a 16¼ chrome lined cold hammer forged barrel. Both are threaded 14x1 left hand. Both have a standard AKM bayonet lug, cleaning right under the barrel, standard adjustable sights. Both take standard front hand guards with a sling swivel. Both have a ribbed top cover. Both take standard AKM/AK-74 type buttstocks. Both have a side scope mount. Both have standard pistol grips. And both take standard double stack mags. Typically the WASR today will ship with either a metal mag or a Magpul 30-round polymer. And your Arsenal ships with this short 5-round mag. It's actually a 10-round body, but it's blocked to 5 for hunting. But it does have a double stack mag well, so regular 30 rounds will fit, no problem. Just how they ship them. That's how they've always done their guns. So spec-wise, they're really about the same. Price-wise, today these are selling for $1,100 and up if you can find them, which is not easy to do. And the WASR is selling for about $750 to $800 and up if you can again find them. Now this is mine, so it has a little bit different furniture. Typically the WASRs you find have your standard wood stock and handguards, black pistol grip, so I've slightly changed it. They do come with the slant muzzle device. This one here is in stock configuration with US made black polymer AK-74 style furniture with the trapdoor in the stock. And this has the newer Fime Group trigger pack, which is definitely an improvement over the old single hook Arsenal. So what does this get you and how does it differ? And is it right for you? Well, I can't really answer that one, but I can talk about the features and you can decide. We've talked about how they're similar, how they are different. Notice this has the muzzle nut. Like I said, the WASR usually comes with a slant brake, but that's easy to change. They both have pretty lightweight profile barrels. However, the 107R is based on the AK-74 profile barrel, so it's a tiny bit thinner than the one on the WASR, which is based on the AKM. Notice this has the 90-degree 74 style or 103 style gas block, whereas your WASR here has a 45 degree. Does that matter? No, functionally it's the same, but cosmetically some people prefer one or the other. Also cosmetically, the WASR receiver, as you see, is a slab side. It does not have the dimples for the mag well. Instead, it actually has two small plates welded inside. The dimples are actually on the receiver not to keep the mag from wiggling, as some people think. They're actually there to reinforce the receiver since there are no rivets in this area. So instead of dimples for reinforcement, it has extra plates. It does have the XY stamps here for the trigger grip. On the Arsenal, it's a little bit different of a story. You do get the dimples for the magwell, which people like, but if you look back here, you do not have the XY stampings for the fire control group. So which do you prefer, or does it even matter to you? Both are 1.0 stamped receivers. Both have forged front trunnions, forged bolts, things like that. They're both quality import guns that are going to last. These are not cast guns. But accuracy wise, again, they're both going to be about the same because pretty much most all 7.62 39 AKs are roughly the same. So, what about smoothness? Well, reasonably good tight safety. Reasonably smooth bolt. I've always kind of liked the fine trigger pack. The WASR, keep in mind this one has been shot. Maybe a little clunkier on the charge. I'm not going to even say it's rougher, just a little more play and wiggle. And these typically come with the Century Rack 1 trigger pack, which is fine, but I definitely like the FCG and the Arsenal more than what these typically come with. Bulgarian gun, well, I should say Romanian guns have a phosphate finish. Out of the box, there can be small scuffs and scratches. That's just kind of the nature of Romanian Cugir guns, although the newer ones are less prone to it. But it is pretty rust resistant. The Bulgarian gun comes out of the box with a paint over phosphate finish, which is military grade. Some people complain about bubbling paint or scuffs and scratches. What I've noticed personally with these guns, the paint is durable with some cleaning agents, and then also at the same time very susceptible and will come off with other solvent agents. So it's more of a cleaning routine thing. But some people don't like the paint finish on the Arsenals, and then when they see the gray underneath, they think it's bare metal. It's actually kind of a gray phosphate. Personally, I like both finishes, but I would say the 2-layer finish on an Arsenal may be a little bit better. But then again, people don't like how the paint acts, so kind of your choice. Both take standard AK furniture, both take standard AK bayonets, standard AK muzzle devices, standard AK, both are about as standard as you can get. One thing I will say though, the WASR is based on Romania's PM63 military rifle, really only having a semi-automatic receiver to make it different. So it's very much a military issue semi-automatic version. The 107R isn't. This is something made for the US market. It's based on Arsenal's AR-M1. The semi-automatic version is known as the SLR107R, but that has a milled receiver. Essentially what they've done here, instead of having the milled receiver, they've replaced it with a stamped receiver. The barrel end and all that is very similar. But when you do that, you do cut some cost off, and also weight. This is a good pound lighter than a milled gun, but you do trade off kind of smoothness. Me, myself, and I prefer the milled guns. But today, these are 1100. Before all this craziness, they were about 9. The milled guns were about 1250, 1300 before the craziness. Now they're bumping $2,000. So there is a pretty significant price difference. I would say the Arsenal here is a slightly higher quality gun than the WASR. But is it a high enough quality gun to be worth $300 more? Again, personal preference, no. But I've always had a soft spot for kind of the rough and readiness of Romanian guns. But if you really want a nicer looking, more aesthetically, cosmetically appealing gun, you might want to spend the extra money on the SLR-107R. So I hope that maybe helped a bit, kind of straighten out some things. Again, right now, beggars can't be choosers, and this is just about the only Arsenal even remotely coming in, and even these are available in very limited numbers. The WASRs are a little more restricted than they used to be, but you can still find WASRs a lot easier, and these have been imported for a much longer time, so there are definitely more WASRs in the USA today. Well, I hope that was a good overview. If you have any specific questions, please post them below and we'll do our best to answer them. Sorry there's no shooting in this one, but again, this was something we just grabbed a few minutes to do in between shipping. If you could, like, share, and subscribe as always, and also check out our Bulgarian playlist for even more information on Arsenal guns. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please check out the link to our Patreon page. This is Misha, and I'll catch you very soon next time.